just want to say that because of God's grace and because God is calling me right now, I'm going to live in my calling. I'm going to walk in my calling. I'm going to work in my calling. I'm going to operate in my calling. I'm not going to be jealous of anybody else. I'm not going to covet anybody else's gifts. I'm going to stay in my lane, and I'm going to pursue my calling. And as I pursue my own calling, I am hopeful about my own future. Let me tell you, as I look at you, I'm excited about your future. Yes, I may not even know your name, but if you are a child of the living God, can I tell you that I already see your future? And I can tell you this about your future: you look better then than you do right now. You look better then than you do right now, because God is calling you, and the grace of God is working inside of you. I said, I see your future, and you look better then than you do right now, because every round goes higher and higher and higher. I see your future, and you look better then than you do right now, because the same God who saved you promised to also sanctify you. I see your future, and you look better then than you do right now, because God is in the habit of looking beyond your faults and seeing your needs. I don't care what's going on in your life this morning. I'm telling you, I see your future, and you look better then than you do right now, because God uses ordinary people to do extraordinary things. I see your future, and you look better then than you do right now, because God uses unworthy people to do unusual things. I see your future, and you look better then than you do right now, because God has a way of using folk that other folk have thrown away. God has a way of raising folk that other folk have said will never do anything in the kingdom of God. If you're worried about yourself, can I just call the roll this morning? God has a way of using unusual people. God has a way of choosing some strange vessels. He chose Paul, and Paul persecuted the church. He chose Peter, and Peter had a bad temper. And Joseph was abused, and Gideon was afraid. And Samson, brothers, was a ladies' man. Rahab was a prostitute. Isaiah preached naked. Imagine that on a Sunday morning. Jeremiah was a crybaby. David was a murderer and an adulterer. Solomon was a womanizer. Elijah was suicidal. Jonah ran from God. Job lost everything. Martha worried about everything. Thomas was a doubter. Simon was a leper. Bartimaeus was blind. Lazarus was dead, and God raised him up. And maybe you feel like you're dead this morning. There is a God. That's all I came to tell you. There is a God. That's all I dropped by to say. There is a God who reached down in the grave where you have found yourself and raised you up and call you and use you